Good morning. Good Saturday morning. I won't say beautiful Saturday morning as the raindrops not are falling. I don't think they were falling when you guys come in, right? But they have been falling throughout the early morning, the wee hours here of Saturday. January 18th, back after 2 weeks. Last week, the weather did play a part in our radio show, the biggest part in our radio show being canceled last week. But glad we're back on, glad we're back, glad to have you listening this morning as we go through the world of sports and other things. And got a message a couple days ago from, in this order, Lenny, my wife, Mike Powell.
Oh.
The death of Bob Bucher.
Yep.
You know, we always text each other whenever
we're doing that too frequently.
Dies. Yeah, well, you know what? There's a lot of them that that we remember. Now, I'll say this about Bucher. I don't remember him playing.
Oh, no. That was – when did he break in? Early 60s?
Was it that? Well, no wonder I don't. But I do remember him being a broadcaster, being on the Miller Lite commercials. I think he might have been on the first Miller Lite commercial back in the day of taste great, less filling, you know. But
what was it he redefined? The wild pitch? Just a tad outside. Right? Something like
that. Yeah, when it was 12 feet outside. He could. If baseball didn't work out, he could have been a comedian, right?
He could have been.
He could have.
He was an entertainer.
He was. Always helps to be that personality, though. But
you know, he could easily, because of that, he could easily make fun of his 200 lifetime batting average in the majors. Yeah. But he played 6 years with 3 or 4 different teams.
I don't think these have been just since Christmas, but you know, I mean, some of the baseball people that come to mind, Ricky Henderson. We lost.
Yep.
You guys help me. There's been others that we lost in within the last 2 or 3 months, and I know we have.
Pete Rose, that wasn't that long ago.
Pete Rose has not been that long ago.
No.
Still the all-time hits leader in Major League Baseball. Got a couple good mornings here. Mike tells us. Good morning this morning. Good morning, David, Mike, Brett. Missed you guys
Milton
last
saying,
week.
just a tad outside.
Just a tad outside. That's right, yeah. Monty Mosteller says good morning from Johnson City, Tennessee this morning. Any snow on the ground over there? There's still snow on the ground here that we can't get rid of because the temperatures barely get above 30. And guess what's coming this week?
They won't barely.
No, they won't. They won't reach 30, I don't think, for a while. I mean, we got some days that in the teens and maybe even lower coming up.
I like cold weather, but it's maybe a little more than I bargained for.
Yeah. It's I'm a weird one. I like cold weather, but I don't like to be cold.
Yeah, well, that's me. Yeah.
I don't want to be. If I'm outside and I'm prepared for it, I'm okay.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Ned says, good morning, glad to have you back. As I mentioned, Mike Painter and Monty Mosteller. Monty says, yes, it's on the ground. Calling for a little tomorrow in Johnson City.
Oh.
I know later in this week there's a chance here again.
Okay.
I'm thinking this one here is supposed to be rain, and then it's I don't think it's that big a chance, maybe 40%, you know, during the midweek, or it might even be next weekend. I haven't really paid that close attention yet, but another chance of snow. Also, that's the Ned message. Glad to have you back. So got that one a couple times for some reason. So, it's here. We're here. We're here to talk sports. I'm just thinking many people call this the greatest NFL day of the season.
Or weekend.
Yeah, well, weekend. You're right.
Because you have 4 games.
Yep.
Wow,
well,
it's divisional now.
Well,
baby.
you have 4. We had more last week, though. We had 6 last week.
6. But really only one was, Tampa Bay and Washington came down to the wire.
It was a good game.
Yeah.
The rest of them were decided probably with a good bit of time remaining in the game. what a fizzle out the Minnesota Vikings did in their last 2 games. You know, they lost 4 games all year, 2 to the Lions and 2 to the Rams. You know,
so disappointing for them after a 14-3 regular season.
Sam Darnold didn't help his stock any at all over those last 2 games. He had a phenomenal season, but over those last 2 games, and I don't know what'll happen.
How about Sean McVay for Coach of the Year? They were 1-4. Cooper Kupp was out. They had 12 players.
They were 1-4.
Yeah,
and now they're a dangerous team.
Yeah, I mean, this guy has a way of getting it done. You know, they were completely counted out.
Yeah, they're always, for some reason, they are always slow starters.
Yeah.
In the beginning of a season, not in a game, but in the beginning of a season.
Right.
I think even the year they won 3 years ago maybe, they won the Super Bowl.
Mm-hmm.
And I think they might have started kind of slow that year and just kind of gradually kept getting better and better. And a lot of it's got to do with, like you said, healthy players.
Yep.
You know.
Do you guys think they were playing with a bigger edge because of they wanted to bring something positive to L.A.? I really do, based on what I've read and stuff. They were thinking about that. Kind of like the Saints did in the wake of Katrina, remember?
Oh, there's no doubt that there was motivation there this past game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You still got to execute, but I really think that, you know, they were playing with that kind of edge.
Playing for the city, in a way.
Right.
Real quick here, Rodney says, here's notable deaths in 24, and this don't even include the 3 weeks of that we've got here in 25. O.J. Simpson, Mercury Morris, Louis Tiant, Pete Rose, Willie Mays, Ricky Henderson, Dikembe Mutombo, Jerry West, and Bill Walton.
Wow, those are big-time figures.
Yep. I just look at on there how many of them had ties to Los Angeles, or you know, I mean Walton, West, and
none more than O.J., right?
Oh
yeah.
I'm sure he won the Heisman at Southern Cal. And other things.
Yeah.
He did other things, too.
Yeah. I don't think that's what
what everybody's thinking about, right?
Brett was
thinking about something else.
Yeah. But, been a rough 10 days or whatever now out in Los Angeles. I don't. What's the latest on that? Is that stuff under control?
A lot better than it was a week ago.
Yeah.
But the Santa Ana winds may be coming back with ferocity. I don't. It's horrific.
We can't imagine that because we've never had anything like that happen.
I've seen stretches
how quick they can spread. We can't imagine it.
Road and neighborhoods and things that I've driven through out there that are typically just beautiful places, and they're just gone. I mean,
you look along Pacific Highway 1 right there in Malibu.
Even the beachfront.
Yeah.
I heard some interviews with some of the people that said, you got about 15 minutes when they warn you, and within 20 minutes the house is gone.
Yeah.
Yep.
I mean, like it burns it down in just 5 minutes or so. Good morning, Lenny. Lenny telling us good morning this morning. I do want to start on the NFL though and talk about it a little bit like we were with some of these teams just coming. I want to say out of the blue. I mean, you got Washington, first-year quarterback coming in there leading his team. I know Brett's on cloud 9 right now with football anyway. He's got Notre Dame in the national championship game.
Yeah.
Washington in the NFL playoffs for the first time since, do we know the
2016? No.
5 years or so since they've been in the playoffs, but it's the first time that they won a playoff game.
Okay. Well, even 5 or 6 years is a good while
in a long time. I can't remember what the year was, but it had been a long time since they won a playoff game.
I heard them asking trivia on that, like who was the quarterback when they won. Do you remember? Do you know who the quarterback was when they last won a playoff game? I heard it. I mean, it was told to me on TV. They answered the question, but it might have been what's the one from Auburn?
Jason Campbell.
It might have been Jason
Campbell.
Been.
They never won a
back.
playoff game when Kirk Cousins was there, right?
Nah.
Has Kirk Cousins ever won a playoff game?
Yeah.
Yeah, I
think so. I don't know.
Has he? I don't know. I can't answer. I'm just thinking about it. I mean, he.
Think about it. It's only been 2 or 3 years since the end of the Daniel Snyder era in Washington, and look where they are now.
Yeah.
All it takes, one player.
Yeah,
The quarterback.
yeah, I mean there's a lot of things go into that.
Yep.
Will it take that? Will it take that kind of move
It's
for
like
the Cowboys?
Mark
to do
Brunell.
that?
Yeah.
Mark
was
Brunell,
the quarterback
Brunell.
the last playoff win.
Wow.
Long
Which
time
was also
Jaguar.
against Tampa.
Yeah.
Oh, poor Tampa.
2000. Let me go back. 2006 playoffs. So the 05-06 season.
I have to admit, I had a place in my heart for Tampa. I just cannot. I pull for Baker Mayfield.
I do too.
Oh yeah, I like him too.
I mean, I just have to.
It's like his.
Yeah, and Mike Evans is class, and he's going to be a Hall of Famer, a first ballot Hall of Famer, and I mean.
And what's sad, Mayfield had such a great year, but he has to live all off season with the one play, the timing miss on the.
Yeah. Well, that's
reverse.
That's the Brett Favre in him.
That's right.
I mean the gunslinger. He's going to make mistakes, but
Yeah.
you hope to get more good than bad.
Mm-hmm.
With the riverboat gambler, I guess you could call him. But I did enjoy watching them play. That for a long time the NFC South, a different team win it every year.
Mm-hmm.
Tampa's won it 4 in a row. Tampa's won
That's
the
right.
division 4 straight years, which, and one of those, of course, was with Brady, and they went on to win a Super Bowl. But the other 3 years, they weren't really great.
No.
They're just above average team.
Well, they made the playoffs in Brady's second season, didn't they? But they weren't great. It was just sort of a blah team that year. Then they lost in the first round, I believe.
How many years was he there?
Was it 2 or 3? I don't remember.
Well, if they made the playoffs in the second season,
I
they
wanna
won the
say
Super Bowl.
two-
If
I
he
wanna
only
say
played
2
2.
years. I think he played 2 years.
Yeah, it's
I'm sure I'll be corrected if I'm wrong.
well, I hope you are, because I want to
Yeah.
know now.
I do too.
I can't remember more than 2. And did he? Okay, let me ask you this then: was the Super Bowl his last game? Winning the Super Bowl, was that his final?
No.
I didn't
No.
think so.
No.
I thought he played again a year.
He
after
was
that.
there 3 years.
Oh, 3 years.
Okay.
Okay.
And won in the second year. Won the Super Bowl in the second year. Right? It would have to be. If he didn't ride off
Or
into
was it his first year with him?
how many quarterbacks have walked off after winning the Super Bowl? Elway,
Elway walked off.
didn't he? Peyton Manning?
Peyton Manning. That's 2.
Or did Peyton come back and play another year after he left, didn't he?
He left.
I think he did
I'm
retire.
thinking he retired.
Him and Elway both, right?
Yeah,
Retired.
those 2.
Champion.
Is that it? I'm asking because I don't know. Sure wish NCAA champ game was tonight, not Monday. Well,
Yeah.
tonight
Well-
is reserved for the NFL.
Oh,
though.
yeah. They're not going to collide with the NFL.
I believe college football belongs on Saturday. If you have an early alarm clock on Tuesday morning, it can be tough.
Yeah. Oh,
TV
yeah. I get
executives
that.
Boo. Yep, it is. It is. But
Well, yeah. It's
but I will say this though: for years, the game that decided the national championship was on New Year's Day.
that's right.
And we know New Year's Day is not always on Saturday.
Nope.
It's every day of the week at some point.
And
So
many people have to go back to work.
I always
day
remember
after New
watching
Year's
that
Day.
Orange Bowl, Mike.
I know.
The last one of the day of the January 1st
You got up about
bowl.
12:30
Yeah,
because the
yeah.
halftime lasted 30,
You
45
get about
minutes.
you get about 5 hours of sleep, or
Yeah.
4 or 5 hours of sleep that night.
That's right.
If you're lucky. What's the point spread in that game, Brad? I want to get back to the NFL and then we'll talk college. But what is
Which
the
one?
point in Notre Dame and
Right now
6?
it's 8.5.
8.5?
I think it started at 9.5.
Yeah. Well, everybody knows how I'm not a Buckeye fan. But have you ever seen a team just totally choke like Texas did
Yeah.
down the stretch in the red zone?
They didn't have the
They have
toughness.
4 plays in the red zone, and 3 were negative, and the other one went for a scoop
and
score. Yeah, the other way.
Amazing.
Yep. But I will say this about this, and about Ohio State. What's the kid's name that the defensive.
Jack Sawyer.
I
awesome. Love that guy.
He's awesome.
Yeah.
He's awesome.
I won't love him Monday night, but I love watching him play.
He could play on my team any day, and I think he's going to be a heck of a NFL player when he gets there as well. And I'm guessing this is his last game. I don't know if he's a senior or not, but I'm going to guess.
Yeah, I think it's going to be his last game regardless. But he might be a senior. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
Oh, it's the best college roster you could buy. They invested $20 million, and they have the best roster, but it doesn't mean they're going to win the game. I mean, I'm pulling for Notre Dame.
They definitely have.
Well, I think the only people
more
that are not
Dame.
pulling for Notre Dame are in Ohio.
Yeah,
I think the rest of the nation pretty much is.
Yeah, when's the last time you said that about Notre Dame?
Because it's been so long since if they were
88,
if they were still the consistent dominant program like back in the
hopefully
40s,
soon.
50s, or maybe even 20s if it goes back that far. That's the reason. If you like a team and they're hated, there's a reason for it, and it's a good reason usually for you. It's because of a lot of winning. I can't think of a team out there that's hated that loses all the time in any sport. So it's all got to do with winning.
Cowboys.
But now they're.
Well, that's true.
Yeah, but they still. They haven't won a championship in a long time, but they still.
No, they hadn't even been close.
No. They haven't made the NFC championship.
No.
Since Troy Aikman, right? Since Troy Aikman, and that was in 90.
Yeah, but they're always part of the conversation.
Oh yeah, and that'll never change.
No,
it really won't. Even when Jerry's gone, that'll never change. I mean, it's Okay.
Well, they got one of the biggest fan bases.
Well, it's simple. You got three major sports, and there's three teams in all of them: the Yankees, the Cowboys, and the Lakers.
Yeah.
The Boston's got one more title than the Lakers, right?
Yeah.
But Lakers get way more hype.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's in L.A. and it's West.
Well, they're disliked more across the country.
I'm not saying
Boston
they don't deserve it. They do deserve it, but they get more hype than the others do. The Yankees still get it, and the Yankees have won how many championships since the turn of the millennium?
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's not as bad as the Dallas numbers.
Yeah.
Oh no, the Yankees have been way better than Dallas
over
the last 25 years.
Yep. I will say this though: this past season, Dallas played better defense in critical situations than the Yankees.
Yeah, the Yankees could have used Micah Parsons.
Yes, they could have. This is a good one right here from Jason. Jason says, "Good morning. Washington has played Tampa Bay in the playoffs every year they've made it since 1999. Now
that's a lot.
It's not a lot of years, I'm sure. And
4 or 5 times maybe.
Washington played them in the seasons of 99, 05, 07, 20, and now 24. Only winning in 05 and this season. In the 05 game, it was the late Sean Taylor's fumble return for a touchdown that was key play in that game. I can't remember that. The one I do remember, what was the big fullback for Tampa? Allstott. Yeah, well, didn't he score like a game-winning touchdown in the playoffs in a very close game with Washington one year? Can't even tell you what year that was, but I'd say it's at least 25 years ago, 20 to 25 years ago.
Did he play at Nebraska? I'm going to I believe that's right.
Good question.
He seems like he would.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Back in their heyday when they
right.
Yep. Purdue.
Purdue. Oh, okay.
Really?
Missed that.
Yeah, and you can't say back in their heyday.
Oh no.
They did have 4 good years with Drew Brees.
Yep.
And maybe he played with Brees. Maybe they were there at the same time.
I would think he's a little older.
Here's the trivia question of the day. And when is the last time Purdue won the Big Ten, or have they ever? I mean, just because you would think if it happened, it was when Brees was there.
Yeah.
In those 4 years.
Last year in basketball.
They won it last year in basketball with the big man. What was his name?
Zach Edey.
Edey. Yep.
Yeah, they had some good quarterbacks before Brees. I'm trying to go back in the history.
Yeah, they've had some good ones.
Well, they had the Miami Dolphins.
Well, Wait a minute.
legend.
Absolutely.
What was his name?
Greasy.
Greasy.
Yeah, Bob Greasy
Greasy.
played for Purdue.
Yeah, Bob Greasy.
That's right.
That's the one that came to my mind right off the bat.
And his son played at Michigan, right?
Yep.
Brian.
Brian Greasy at Michigan. Yeah. Now, but I'm through, Mike. I'll leave it to you now. You said they've had some good ones. I'm finished with
Conference
Greasy.
titles has got them as 2000 Big Ten champions. And before that, 1967.
I had to be Breeze. I'd say he was probably there.
2000, yeah I
he was
think so.
probably
2000
'Cause
for
he
Breeze.
Played 50 years in the NFL.
67, would that be Greasy, maybe?
Probably.
Yeah.
Probably because he was with the
Yeah.
Dolphins in the 70s.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. That would.
They've won 12, but only one since 67.
Wow.
They were, if you go back to 50s, 60s, they were competitive. They were, a pretty decent Big Ten team.
Now they are the third-ranked team in their own state.
Yep.
Right.
Yeah, the rise of Indiana.
That's right.
This year,
third-ranked team in their own
Now
state.
this year, you might could find another one better.
I was gonna say,
they were
man.
awful this year.
Oh, were they?
terrible.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
IUPUI. Maybe could be a. Who was we talking
How about
about?
University
the
of
other day? I was having a
Pennsylvania and
conversation. I was having a conversation with somebody the other day, and that's IUPUI, isn't it?
Yeah,
Or is
that's
or
right.
is it Pennsylvania and Indiana, or is it
Yeah.
Purdue University and Indiana University,
Sure.
or is there one of each? Somebody was talking the other day.
There's two
and
IUPUIs.
and they said he went to that IUPUI, but I can't remember who we were talking about now.
It was Drew Brees' senior year that they won.
His senior year, they won the conference championship.
Yeah.
Who beat them in a bowl game?
I don't know.
would've
They,
been the
they only
Rose Bowl.
they only went 8-4.
They had to go to the Rose Bowl,
Yeah.
right?
I think
At that
that's
time,
right. Yeah, the
at
Big
that
Ten
time,
champion.
they would have had to go to the Rose Bowl and
Yeah.
probably got
Yeah.
crushed by Southern Cal or
What was our national title system in that year? AP poll still. BCS? No, before the BCS.
the BS.
Yeah, the BS.
That's good. I don't know when all those things they're just flying by now, Mike. All the different
They
formulas.
did lose to Notre Dame that year,
Did they? You had to make sure of that.
and Penn State.
Yeah.
They beat Michigan, beat Ohio State, beat a ranked Northwestern team. They lost to Michigan State, and they lost to Washington in the Rose Bowl.
Washington.
Yeah.
Washington, Purdue, Rose Bowl. That's so no Michigan, no Ohio
that one
State.
Probably didn't have the best ratings.
Right. Yeah. Even the Badgers of Wisconsin have probably been quite a bit more than Purdue.
Mm-hmm.
And then on the other side, you didn't have no Southern Cal. I was sitting here thinking, wondering when the last time was UCLA made a Rose Bowl. I can't remember it off the top of my head when UCLA. It's not a football school.
Not at all.
You got to realize it's still a basketball school at UCLA.
Although they did have a Heisman Trophy quarterback. Was it 60s? Gary Beeman, I think his name was.
Wow.
Yeah.
Got me there. Glad that wasn't true.
Well, of course, don't forget Troy Aikman transferred from
He did.
Oklahoma to UCLA.
Yep. So the best quarterback, does that make him the best quarterback ever out of?
He has to be a contender for that.
Not Josh Rosen.
Oh, yeah, Josh Rosen.
Yeah, Troy's a close second. You know what? And actually in college, we don't know.
Yeah, Rosen might have had
He
better.
might have had a better college
better
career.
stats anyway.
But in the NFL, it didn't work out too good for Rosen. Let's see. Lenny says probably may have won a Big Ten title when smoking Lynn Dawson played at Purdue. Remember Dawson's picture sitting with the Chiefs, sitting on a bucket on the sideline smoking a cigarette?
Lynn Dawson, Purdue, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that is a really good quarterback. It's
He
a Hall
was.
of Famer, right?
Absolutely.
Getting Dawson in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah, with the Chiefs, too. He was
Yep. Jason says the BCS started in 98.
okay.
In the 2000 season, it was Mike's Oklahoma Sooners who won the national championship.
Yeah, 13-0, baby.
Is that the last one you
That's
got?
the last one we got.
Is it really?
Yeah. We've been in the playoffs.
Was that over Florida State?
Over Florida
Yeah.
State. Yep,
Yep.
over Florida State in that game.
I think the next year was
Who were on those teams? Give
Ohio
me
State and Miami.
Was Adrian Peterson on? or was this?
No, but you know
He
the
played
quarterback.
in the 90s, didn't
The
he?
quarterback was
NFL.
Josh Heupel, who is now the coach at Tennessee.
At Tennessee,
Yeah.
yeah. And who would have been on Florida State's team, I wonder?
Well, the quarterback later became a Panther QB. I can't think of his name.
Winky.
Right now. Winky. Yeah, Chris Winky.
Oh, was it?
Yep.
He was, 37 when he was
Yeah.
playing at Florida State?
And 45 when he was with the Panthers.
He was like the oldest quarterback, right, ever, like to
Yep.
play a college game, I
Yeah.
think, whenever 26, really. I mean,
Yeah.
26 or 27,
Yeah.
maybe, something like that.
Well, how old was Bo Nix when he played his first college game? He's 23 or 4, isn't he? I mean, I'm thinking.
Yeah, but now you say when he played his first college game, he was in college forever, wasn't he?
That's what I mean. Yeah, when
Yeah,
he played his
he was-
first
he was-
NFL game.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I'll tell you what, some other people might want to take the route that he has taken
I know.
because he really had a solid rookie year.
No doubt.
You can tell, or at least
The
my
seasoning,
thoughts, you can
yeah.
tell that he had started however many games it was, 60-some games
Yep.
in college football he had started.
It showed.
Yes, it did. Yes, it did.
They
Very
got a
poised.
They've got a good base now at their QB spot.
Yep. That'll be a team to watch for in the AFC playoffs in the future.
Yeah,
for a
good
good
coach,
while. Mhm.
Sean Payton.
I don't know what it is. The defense is pretty good, but they got to strengthen it a little. You
Yeah.
know?
They got shredded.
Yeah.
Of course, by Buffalo.
After they took an early lead, Buffalo just dominated the game the rest of the way. It's amazing to me how much home field means
Oh yeah.
in the NFL.
Yeah.
I mean, just
Cold
like
weather.
last week, 5 out of 6,
Yep.
right? 5 out of
Mhm.
6 were home teams.
Except for Tampa Bay.
Is that it? Is that the one? Is that the only? Yeah. And it could have went either way.
Yep.
It was the rest of them though were. How many one-score games were there?
And
Just that one,
Just
right?
that one.
Yeah, how about that? So everything else was at least a 2-possession win for these teams. I mean, the Texans even woke up and played well last week. So think about this. We're gonna get into this when we come back. What chances do they have today? Can Kansas City just flip that switch that people say you can't do that? You can't just flip a switch and start playing better because Kansas City, I'd say their average margin of victory this year is probably 7, 8.
Yeah.
It's low because I
Seemed
know
like
there was a couple.
they had several that they just won by a field
One,
goal
yeah.
or a missed field goal
Yeah.
by the other team.
Yeah, things went their way, and all it takes is just maybe one stroke of luck. But like I heard some guys talking about the other day, the one thing you can't predict is that, that 4th down and 18,
Yeah.
and Mahomes makes a play, because he's the greatest at doing
Best
at
player
doing.
in the world.
He's the greatest at doing that kind of thing and setting his team up and finding a way to pull out wins. Do you or do you not want to see somebody be the first team to win 3 straight Super Bowls? Because that's what their goal is.
Yeah.
That's what.
I have mixed feelings. It would be great in a way, but in another way, I'd like to see a fresh face. So.
It depends on who it comes down to.
Yeah.
For me, if it's Chiefs and Eagles, I want to see the Chiefs win 3 in a row.
Okay.
But if it was Chiefs and Lions, I want the Lions to win.
Yeah,
when
and
they're first.
And
It
I
just
know if
kinda
it's your
depends
own
on-
team, if your own
Yeah,
team would
yeah.
happen to get that, just rule that out. Obviously, if it's your
Yeah.
own team, but I don't. There's a lot of records I don't mind seeing be broken, but since I've gone my whole life and nobody's ever won 3 Super Bowls in a row, I really don't want to see it. I just soon. There've been a lot of back-to-backs. I don't know how
Oh,
many,
yeah.
but
Yeah.
maybe 7 or 8. But I'm okay with not being not winning it 3 in a row. I think the only people that Kansas City fans obviously would want to see it,
Oh yeah.
and then maybe those teams that really despise the New England Patriots and their dominance for so long. Did New England win a Super Bowl back-to-back 2 times?
I think so.
Yeah, and they might be the only team that's ever done that. But I think.
Well, the Steelers did, didn't they?
Yes, they did. They won 2 and then missed 2 and then won 2 again. You're right. They won back-to-backs 2 times. We'll take our first time out, And yes, we have lyrics this morning. I will go first this morning.
All right.
See what you guys can do with these. I got a certain little girl. She's on my mind. We'll be back here in a moment.
First Federal Savings Bank has been serving Lincoln County since 1940. And as it has been from the beginning, customer service is a priority to First Federal Savings Bank. They want to get to know you by name. First Federal Savings Bank has the convenience, the products, and the services that the larger banks have, but with hometown people that you see throughout your community. Stop in and visit one of their 4 convenient locations and see what First Federal Savings Bank has to offer you. Member FDIC, an equal housing lender.
Whether it's a sit-down meal or a call-in for the drive-thru, Brookwood Cafe and Catering is the answer. A variety of meats, vegetables, and desserts cooked daily, or a hot sandwich from the grill, they have what you're looking for to satisfy your taste buds. If you need catering from 5 to 500, Brookwood has you covered as well. Stop by Brookwood Cafe and Catering at 202 Providence Mill Road in Maiden. Don't forget breakfast daily till 11 a.m. Open Tuesday 6 a.m. to 2 p.m., Wednesday through Saturday 6 a.m. till 8 p.m., and Sunday from 7 a.m. to 3 p.m. Call 828-428-8944 to place your order today.
Getting the kids to practice on time. Remembering if it's your day to bring snacks. Making it to the game with a clean jersey. Why are simple things sometimes so complicated? Thankfully, with Auto Owners, insurance doesn't have to be one of them. Auto Owners works with independent agents who answer when you call, so you can worry about more important things, like whether your kid is going to run toward first or third base. That's simple human sense.
Call Mooney Insurance in Maiden or East Lincoln Insurance in Denver or visit MooneyInsurance.com.
Lake Electric Company was founded in 1984. They are licensed in North Carolina, South Carolina, Georgia, and Virginia. Safety and quality is first in everything they do. For all your electrical needs, serving Lincoln County, Catawba County, Burke County, Mecklenburg County, and all the surrounding counties. When it has to be done right, call Lake Electric. Let them take care of your family. Lake Electric Company, 4362 Providence Mill Road, Maiden. Call 704-483-4000. Online at lakeelectric.com.
Rhodes and Bill Oil Company in Lincoln has been serving the Piedmont of North and South Carolina since 1919. Sure, they deliver to your home with home heating oils. They'll help keep you warm, but they do a whole lot more. They feature bulk fuel delivery, on-site and commercial fueling, backup generator fueling, and farm and agricultural fueling. For home or business or farms, call on Rhodes and Bill Oil Company in Lincoln, 704-735-2508. Online at rhodesandbill.com, located at 1404 East Main Street in Lincoln. Like them on Facebook, too.
Western Steer Family Steakhouse in Newton has the best food around. Their buffet is like no other. Fried chicken, meatloaf, baked chicken, beef tips with peppers and onions, pintos and macaroni cheese, green beans, yams, and the best salad bar around. Hours of business Sunday, Wednesday, and Thursday, 11 a.m. to 7 p.m. Fridays and Saturdays, 11 a.m. to 8 p.m. Western Steer Family Steakhouse, 334 Southwest Boulevard, Newton. Call for takeouts at 704-325-3926. Like them on Facebook.
Loading the kids in the car, brokering peace in the back seat, mastering the snack handoff without even looking. Why are simple things sometimes so complicated? Thankfully, with Auto Owners, insurance doesn't have to be one of them. We work with independent agents who keep insurance simple, so you can worry about more important things, like figuring out what's growing in that cup holder. That's simple human sense.
KL Insurance, Lincoln. Call 704-732-4646 or visit KLInsurance.com for all your insurance needs.
We're back. Thanks for hanging in there. Music giving us a fit this morning, but glad to have you with us here Saturday morning. Rainy. Be careful out there if you're traveling. Glad to have you with us. Been talking sports. Going to talk more. Going to look into these playoff games, and then of course the big game coming up on Monday night. Whose job would you like to have? Is it Kirk Herbstreit?
Yeah, I'd take it.
Yeah.
Man gets to call the best college game of the week and then go to a Monday night
yeah.
football. And,
Guys got it going on. Once he ventured
pretty
into the
good
NFL
gig.
arena.
I was just thinking about that I guess the Monday night crew is finished now, though, right?
Yeah, I think this last.
Well, I'm saying Monday night. He wasn't on Monday night.
No, he's been doing Thursday night.
Thursday night,
on
Thursday.
Amazon.
On Amazon Prime.
That's right. Yep, because Monday is reserved for Joe and Troy.
And he's got opportunity
And
to
the
work.
Mannings at my house.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. He's worked with a legend, right?
Al Michaels.
Al
and okay, sometimes
Mike DiRico.
Yeah, I was going to say some of the times the games I've seen is Tirico's been on there, and I didn't know if something was wrong with Al or not, or if he just likes a break every now and then. I don't know. It seemed like it was around the Thanksgiving holidays he didn't do a game or something like that. I can't remember.
I think Al's 73, 74, somewhere in that area.
Let's see, Brett, Ned. Brett got my lyrics. Ned says, "Don't know first trivia." Lenny, I thought Lenny was guessing on it. We'll get to the sports related ones here in a minute. I'm just going to try and give you, Mike. I'm going to give you one more chance because you.
Oh man, I can say the lyrics in my head.
You know them well.
I cannot come up with
I got
the
a
artist.
certain little girl. She's on my mind.
No doubt about it.
She looks so fine. You got him.
She's the best girl that I've ever had.
He knows everything but the artist.
Everything but the artist.
And the name of the song.
Wow.
Yep.
Yeah, thinking it would flash.
Well, we'll go ahead and throw them out there for you. Hush.
Oh, yeah.
By.
Deep Purple.
There you go,
That's right.
Lanny.
There you
Hush
go.
by Deep Purple.
Deep Purple. Good song.
Yep. There you go, Ned. Hush by Deep Purple. A couple other things. Brett did get it correct this morning. Let's see. Lenny says, I remember when actor Mark Harmon played quarterback at UCLA.
Oh, yeah.
I think his
the
dad.
Golden Boy.
His dad won the Heisman at Michigan. Tom
Harmon, he sure did.
How about that for a pedigree?
Yeah, that's part of the lore of Michigan, Tom Harmon, yeah.
Yep. Jason says ESPN has the Chiefs versus Texans game today. It will be their last game today.
Do the Texans every year when they make the playoffs, they just get the first game on Saturday, whenever that is?
It's all about
because nobody cares about them.
That's it. It's all about
even though they're playing the Chiefs, they're still the first game on Saturday.
Well, now there's a different reason
game
for that, and that one is, to me, I think your one seeds play today. Who's the other game? Is it a one seed?
Yeah, Washington.
They get
and
the
Detroit
extra day.
Tonight.
The one seeds get the extra day. So at this point, there's a reason behind it.
Yeah.
The other one is there's also a reason.
But
behind
every
it.
year in that first round, they're the first game.
I think I
the
saw
playoffs.
they've played 5. Is that not right? That they have been in the playoffs 5 times, maybe the last 5 times they've played at 3:30 on Saturday or 4:30, 3:30 their time.
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure that's right. That they have played all those day games.
Don't you think they'll always live in the shadow of the Cowboys?
They got to
no
win
matter
one.
What. They got to win one.
Well, they're clearly
more
the best franchise in Texas right now.
They're just the least.
But they're still not the favorite franchise in.
No.
They might be in the state
of Texas. They're
Texas.
the least interesting.
They are
playoff team.
They are
every year.
They are. Yep. Even I thought last year they became interesting, but then this year they didn't play the whole season like we expected.
No.
So can they make a run again? You know, did they win 1 or 2 playoff games last year?
I think just 1. They weren't in the AFC Championship.
I don't think they were.
They
yep.
weren't.
I don't. Yep. I'm going to guess it was the Chiefs and somebody.
Who did they beat?
Since they're going for 3 in a row.
Did they beat Buffalo in the championship? I can't remember who it was.
I don't know. That's a good question.
Or was it the Ravens? No, the Ravens? No.
It was the Ravens.
Wasn't?
Well, they beat them at some point, didn't they? Yeah, they beat them at some point in Baltimore.
In Baltimore.
Yeah, they beat them at some point in Baltimore last year.
Yeah, it was.
In the championship game?
Yeah.
And the NFC championship game would have been? Throw that one at me real quick. How quick we forget.
Well, 49ers beat.
Yeah, the 49ers did win. Boy,
was it Green Bay?
That's a big turnaround. Green Bay, it might have been because Green Bay knocked Dallas out early. And did they win another game to get to the championship? I believe they did. Jason says.
No, it was Detroit.
Was Detroit?
Yeah,
That's right.
Detroit.
Detroit did make it last year. They did make it to the championship
They did.
game.
34-31. Detroit had a big lead in the first half.
If you're
24-7 at halftime.
if
Detroit was.
If your Commanders
was
are
ahead.
out, are you pulling for the Lions?
Yeah. Whoever wins this game tonight, is
Yeah.
who I'm pulling for.
Yeah, I think there are a lot of people.
And then Buffalo would probably be my next choice.
Don't have to cut. Yeah.
Yeah.
And what in the world would you do if it's Detroit and Buffalo?
And it's just because it's
That's tough.
it'd be great to
two
see.
great
but
fan bases who have never won.
Never won
Yep.
it. Never tasted it.
And the Lions have never even been close.
No.
I don't know which crowd I'd rather celebrate with either. If it looks like it'd be a big time celebration. Either one.
Both sports cities very deserving
Yeah. Yep.
of this.
Yep. And that would be a great Super Bowl if it could
Mm-hmm.
be, if it could be the Lions and the Bills.
And Detroit has had great teams and won championships and other things.
But they've never even been in
But Buffalo,
the Super Bowl. Not even been
Buffalo's.
in it.
I guess they still have an NHL team, right? The Sabres, are they? I guess they're still around.
I'm going to guess with you.
If you say so.
But I mean, that's all they have.
Yeah. Used to have the Braves, an NBA team.
Yeah,
And where did they move to? Which franchise are they?
they're the Clippers.
It might be. That sounds right. Yeah. Wow, what a downer. Move from Buffalo to L.A. Brett don't think so. Al Michaels is 80. That's what
80?
coming from
Wow.
Jason. Al Michaels is 80. Al hasn't missed any games while at Amazon. When he was at NBC, he would take a week off, and Mike Tirico would fill in the end. Since making the move, Amazon Al has called every game. Okay.
All right.
So it's just those. Are those the Thursday ones?
Yep.
Yeah,
I get so confused now because there's so many networks
the
that get involved. And let me tell you something too. There's going to be more and more. Everybody's complaining about it. You
yeah.
have to have all these.
Look for more.
Yeah, because the bids are so high to get them. They're not. The NFL's not going to turn down that money.
Mm-mm.
And guess what? Most people, maybe not Mike Powell, are going to pay to watch that game. If you want to see it, you're going to pay. You're going to pay for that subscription.
Well, I have almost every streaming service.
Yeah.
So.
the Buffalo Sabres have been around since 1970. They've never won a title, never won a Stanley Cup.
Hmm.
And the Buffalo Braves. Let me tell you the only thing I know about Buffalo Braves. Lenny can attest to this. Bob McAdoo.
Yeah.
Remember that? That's the only
I do.
player I could ever name
McAdoo.
that played.
Yeah, they were only. Looks like they only had a team from 70 to 78.
Okay.
They didn't win anything in those.
It's just not an
8
NBA
years.
town. I mean, it's not.
They moved to San Diego and then to Los Angeles.
San Diego.
Yeah, that's where the Clippers were.
I didn't even. Now that you would have. I would have been here guessing for a week if you told me they went to another city in between.
What I can't believe about this postseason, Pittsburgh has lost 6 straight playoff games under.
And they lost 5 straight games to end the season, didn't
Yeah.
they? 4 or 5 to end the regular season.
But, a highly respected coach who's considered one of the best.
He's not the GM, and that's where the problem lies.
Right.
Yep. I think he gets the most out of what he's got, but until they get somebody that's going to get them some talent in there, and number one, guess what you got to have?
Quarterback.
You got to have a quarterback.
They punted on that one. I mean, they just haven't been able to solve that
They should have
problem.
kept the kid that they let get that go to Philadelphia, who started and won a couple games.
Yeah, Kenny
Pickett.
Pickett.
Is that it?
That's right.
I'm going to get back to the playoff games today. I'll just go ahead and straight up ask you guys. We talk about Kansas City and can they win 3 in a row? Do you want them to win 3 in a row? Who do you want to win today? You're going to sit there and I'm like this. I sat down and I don't know a lot of times. But 5 minutes into that game, I know who I'm pulling for.
Mm-hmm.
And most of the time it's the one that falls behind first.
Yeah.
No, I want
You
the
know?
Chiefs to win.
Do you?
Yeah,
Yeah.
because I want either Chiefs Bills or Chiefs Ravens
Yeah.
next week.
Yeah,
I don't want the Texans in that
Yeah,
game.
I'm like you.
Yeah.
I want to see the top quarterbacks against each other.
Yep. So you're saying it's not a lot of hope in the Texans beating the Chiefs.
Mm-hmm.
Well, if they beat the Chiefs, obviously they could beat anybody, right?
Sure.
You would think. What's the spread on that game? Have you seen the spread on that game, Brett? I'm gonna guess
6, 7 points.
I was gonna say 8. So
8.5.
8.5. These guys are good. Dan Patrick, I watch him religiously. He believes in the people in Vegas, and he says that's how the college football 12 ought to be seated, is let Vegas do it, because they know more than anybody else, because they're always right. They're always right on the, they got about a 95% grade on getting the winners right and the line very close. That
probably
as well.
will mean that not always will the conference championships in the Power Four be the top 4 seeds, right? I mean,
I hope that ends immediately.
Yeah,
because that was a joke.
Yeah,
we saw that was a joke. They all lost.
Yeah,
the top 4 seeds that got by us all lost their first game.
Yeah, but what I liked about it was it gave who ended up being the best 4 teams home games.
Yeah,
but those best 4 should have got by us. I mean, I just wish there weren't by us.
Yeah, or well,
I wish there were 16 teams. And there weren't.
I guess I don't know if it was the best 4 teams, but because Notre Dame and Penn State were 4 and 5, so but Notre Dame, I'd have to say Oregon was one of the best, probably one of the best 4 teams in the country.
Yeah, they probably were. They just called Ohio State the wrong time.
They probably pushed either Notre Dame or Penn State to 5th, but.
Here's what I asked you.
They were totally outclassed by them in the Rose Bowl, even though they beat them earlier in the year.
Yeah.
Right.
Here's a trick question. Do you like the system better now than it was a year ago?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
Now
because Ohio State and Notre Dame would not be where they are if it was still.
Notre Dame might, because they have 1 loss. Ohio State wouldn't have been in the picture.
They wouldn't be in the
picture. I don't think Notre Dame would have made it.
They probably wouldn't have. But we know Ohio State wouldn't have, because they didn't win the.
No, neither. I don't think either of these teams that are in the final would have been in it like it was last year.
Who won the Big Ten?
Oregon beat Penn State.
Right. Oregon would be in there. Yeah,
Oregon
would be in, and
but you could get 2 teams out of one conference.
You can,
that happens.
but they
Georgia
probably
and
wouldn't, because
Alabama
they had 2 losses. They would have had 2 losses. I don't know. But I still.
No, Ohio State wouldn't have made it this year.
Right. No. Even though they wouldn't have made it, I still like the system better. I still like what we've got now.
Oh, yeah.
In place, and like I said, hope it.
And both.
Well, with so many good teams across the country, you need more than 4.
Word
to have
is
a
it's
chance.
going to be 16, but not until 2032.
Will they go to 14 before it goes to 16?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. So.
It's been great, really. I mean, the games on campuses, and both Notre Dame and Ohio State are deserving. Look what they've done to get where they are.
I will say, could you imagine if the NCAA basketball tournament seeded their conference champions first?
Yeah,
it would shake it up a lot.
Oh yeah,
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, follow suit there with the basketball tournament.
NCAA tournament cut down to 4.
It's
4 teams.
Yeah, it's always very competitive, and it seems like it works. You know what I mean? The NCAA tournament, even though it's 6 games of one and done, it's scary.
Yep.
But it seems like it's always a success, and it's definitely a fan favorite. So they might want to follow suit there and.
Auburn, Iowa State, Duke, and Alabama. That's the top 4. Just let them 4
Auburn,
play.
Iowa State.
I like Duke's chances.
Yeah, if that's it. Yeah, if that's
in a 4-team playoff.
How much will that change between now and?
Oh, that's going to change a ton of times.
Alabama
lost this week, so they're going.
So you said Auburn, down. Alabama, Duke, and
Iowa State.
Yeah.
That'll change a ton.
Yeah, the strange thing about this year is, whereas the SEC in football was not the big daddy this year. That's obvious. That belongs to the Midwest. But in basketball, they're really good. They're probably the best basketball conference in the country this year.
Which one?
The SEC.
The SEC.
Yeah,
everybody's good.
Yeah.
Ole Miss, Tennessee, of course, Kentucky.
They've got numbers.
Florida.
Their football will be back. I'm sure. But guess what? They were the best baseball conference in the land too.
Yeah.
Because it was 4 ACC teams and 4 SEC teams in the
team.
World Series, and the SEC just dusted the ACC.
Yep.
I mean,
That's true.
it was even the finals were what, LSU and Florida or something. Was that it? It was two SECs, I'm pretty sure, in the championship of that. Jason says, if Washington is eliminated, I'll be rooting for Baltimore. I want to see Lamar get the ring.
Yep.
Of the 9 quarterbacks to win multiple MVPs, he's the only one to not win a Super Bowl.
Wow.
There is a current trend with Baltimore since they've won the Super Bowl in the 2000. Since they won, there's a current trend with Baltimore since they won in the 2000 season. The quarterback is 28 years old. How about that? Okay, some of these things like the Lincoln and Kennedy thing. The quarterback is 28 years old, and they win every 12 years. The first this ain't gonna work because Baltimore will blow that. In the 2012 season, Flacco was 28, and they won the Super Bowl. Now in 24 season, Lamar makes it 12 years and is 28. When did the Ravens win their first one, though? They won one before.
That 2000?
Yeah, they beat the Giants. And I can't remember. Who was the quarterback then?
Is that Dilfer?
Dilfer. Yeah,
wow.
The game manager, Trent
Wow.
Dilfer.
Wow. That's –
Yeah, they had one of the best defenses.
They did.
Ever. Yeah, I'd put them
Ray
up
and
maybe.
company.
And then
Yeah.
they beat the 49ers in the Harbaugh Bowl.
Yep, when the lights went out.
It was the one with
I'll still say the greatest
Flacco.
defense ever, 85 Bears. They were.
Well, there's no doubt about that. I mean,
There've been some great ones.
My opinion, yeah.
But Baltimore's defense, when they had Ray Lewis, was great.
But
Steel Curtain with Pittsburgh.
look how many teams, though, that build those kind of teams and they underachieve. Those Bears underachieved because they should have won 3 or 4.
Yeah,
And
they
it
should have
didn't
won more
happen.
than one.
Yep.
Yeah.
Brett's Redskins knocked them out the very next year in the playoffs after they were, they had a really good season, but then they got knocked out of the playoffs early, and then they were never the same. The Bears they haven't been since.
Mm-mm.
They did get to the Super Bowl with Urlacher
Yep.
and lost to Peyton's Colts. And what year would that have been? 2000.
Yeah.
2000s.
Yeah. Let's see, another one here from Jason. I got about 6 texts here. The CFP is moving to 14 and 26.
No.
So 14 teams and 26. The SEC and Big Ten are proposing that they each get 4 automatic bids in the 14-team format. So that would take up 8 of the slots.
Well, they'll get
are
what
you
they
for
want.
or against that?
I'm
I propose
against
that
it.
Notre Dame gets an automatic bid.
Yeah.
Well, if they play like they did this year, they'll get that automatic bid. The ACC and Big 12 get automatic bids, get 2 automatic bids, and that will leave 2 open spots for Notre Dame and a group of 5.
Yeah, this is eventually going to be controlled, if it's not already, by the SEC and the Big Ten.
Right. They're the power conferences.
Let's see. Richard says, according to statistics last couple of years, the NFL Vegas only gets winner right 68% of the time. I'm talking about college football, mostly on those spreads. But I agree with you. They only get the winner right 68% of the time. Spread less than a touchdown, so it's 95% if you cut and dry. You could just bet money lines and almost always win money. Not me. Whichever way I'm betting, I can promise you it's going another way. That's why I stay away from it for the most part. Roger says, talking about it was Tennessee. Yeah, it wasn't Florida and LSU. It was 2 years ago.
Yeah, Tennessee won it,
Yeah,
right?
Tennessee won it last year. Thank you, Roger. College World Series final, Tennessee and Texas. Yeah, that was the one. Is that the one game that had all the bench clearing? Or was that a different? No, that was a Florida game. Somebody in Florida, I think, had the bench clearing brawls there for a couple times. Lenny says that the Buffalo Braves moved to L.A. I think McAdoo played the last year in Buffalo, and I think he was in a NBA Rookie of the Year. They had another good player on that team named Jim McMillan. Do you remember him, Mike? Jim McMillan, that played for the Lakers.
And doesn't Jim McMillan have Lincoln County roots somewhere far back? I may be wrong about that. Jason may know.
Yeah, David does not know. I don't recognize the name, so David does not.
I want
know.
to think he does.
Richard, I'm just going to tell you my opinion. I will still go with Vegas 100% on their seeding of the teams for the college football playoffs, because this year was an embarrassment.
Mm-hmm.
I think it was. I mean, I just think it was an embarrassment that
Indiana was 3.
Well,
Yeah.
I mean, okay, you had Boise State.
Well, that's the group of 5.
Whoever got the buys. I mean, it was just.
Yeah.
I think it embarrassed the committee that they all lost in the first round, and they'll do something about it. Maybe not go with Vegas, but they'll do something about it. You know. Lenny says Texas and Texas A&M played in the College World Series last year. LSU and Florida the year before. So it looks
Tennessee and Texas A&M.
Tennessee and Texas A&M. SEC world in baseball too, isn't it? Right now, for sure. Getting it done. Jim Clemens, I think that's who you might have been thinking about.
Yeah, that's who I'm
Mike.
thinking about.
Yep.
Jim
Thank
Clemens.
you, Jason. That's what I thought too, but I couldn't think of Clemens' last name. It's Jim
That's right.
Clemens
Jim
that
Clemens.
has the roots. Yep.
That is correct. I'm sorry. Yeah.
Phil.
Yeah, I was looking at this Jim McMillan.
Yep.
He's from Rayford, North Carolina. That's where he was born.
That's in basically Fayetteville, suburb of Fayetteville.
Says,
Jason can tell you that.
Speaking of the Millans, remember Nate McMillan played at NC State, later was an NBA coach. He's from North Carolina.
Remember McMillan and wife?
Mm-hmm. Wow.
Who was in that? Dennis Weaver? I may be wrong. I can't remember who was in that. I just remember the show when I was a kid. Yeah, Jim Clemens he's talking about there. Lenny says, Mike, you were thinking of Jim Clemens. Thank you, Lenny, as well. Yes, lived in Lincoln County before moving out. It seemed like maybe he went to Ohio State himself and played, and then wound up a coach with the Lakers in the NBA. All right, we got to get back to it. It's almost time to take a break. I'll tell you what, I'm gonna just real quickly, 4:30 today, Texans and Chiefs, followed by the Commanders and the Lions tonight. The first game today is on ABC, ESPN and ABC networks, and then the nightcap tonight will be the Commanders and the Lions. That game will be on Fox at 8 o'clock. I'll let you guys tell me who you're
Oh, that's weird.
to rank
That
your
Fox has a Saturday night,
rank your crews.
and NBC gets the Sunday afternoon. That's kind of weird.
NBC gets Sunday afternoon with
Rams and Eagles.
and
The
then
CBS has got the game of the weekend.
the nightcap.
Baltimore and Buffalo. Yeah.
Is that the one you think will have the most eyes on it
Yeah.
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 of all the games? That
Well, that's 2 heavyweights, really. That's the only game that has 2,
yeah, yep.
and that'll be the Nats and Romo game. So,
Oh boy, can't wait to hear Romo.
well, that's my favorite duo to listen to
Is
right
it?
now. Yeah.
Is it? Okay.
Yeah, I like Romo.
Yep.
And, I mean, Nats, obviously.
I like Joe and Troy the best.
Joe and Troy for me to
Yeah,
find
I like
it.
Joe and Troy the best.
Well,
but-
see, I'm always disappointed on Monday when the
'Cause you don't-
Mannings
you don't-
aren't on.
yeah.
And
You
I
have to listen
I have
to
to
them.
listen to
Yeah.
Joe. I love watching the Mannings.
Oh, they're good.
Yep. Yep. What are they doing now without Belichick?
He was on there
Was
this
he?
past week.
Okay.
Yeah,
I didn't know
on
if he
it.
was still doing it or not.
Yeah.
So, he's a busy man.
Yeah.
I think got to be more than one of him. Got to
know.
be more than one of Bill Belichick. He is a busy man. He's everywhere right now. Let's take a time out. Who's got the lyrics ready, Brad or Mike?
I'll go with mine.
Okay.
One thing about this song, the title's never mentioned in the song. I pulled into Nazareth.
Okay, that's enough. We'll be back in a moment.
First Federal Savings Bank has been serving Lincoln County since 1940. And as it has been from the beginning, customer service is a priority to First Federal Savings Bank. They want to get to know you by name. First Federal Savings Bank has the convenience, the products, and the services that the larger banks have, but with hometown people that you see throughout your community. Stop in and visit one of their 4 convenient locations and see what First Federal Savings Bank has to offer you. Member FDIC, an equal housing lender.
Whether it's a sit-down meal or a call-in for the drive-thru, Brookwood Cafe and Catering is the answer. A variety of meats, vegetables, and desserts cooked daily, or a hot sandwich from the grill, they have what you're looking for to satisfy your taste buds. If you need catering from 5 to 500, Brookwood has you covered as well. Stop by Brookwood Cafe and Catering at 202 Providence Mill Road in Maiden. Don't forget breakfast daily till 11 a.m. Open Tuesday 6 a.m. to 2 p.m., Wednesday through Saturday 6 a.m. till 8 p.m., and Sunday from 7 a.m. to 3 p.m. Call 828-428-8944 to place your order today.
Getting the kids to practice on time. Remembering if it's your day to bring snacks. Making it to the game with a clean jersey. Why are simple things sometimes so complicated? Thankfully, with auto owners, insurance doesn't have to be one of them. Auto Owners works with independent agents who answer when you call, so you can worry about more important things, like whether your kid is going to run toward first or third base. That's simple human sense.
Call Mooney Insurance in Maiden or East Lincoln Insurance in Denver or visit MooneyInsurance.com.
Lake Electric Company was founded in 1984. They are licensed in North Carolina, South Carolina, Georgia, and Virginia. Safety and quality is first in everything they do. For all your electrical needs, serving Lincoln County, Catawba County, Burke County, Mecklenburg County, and all the surrounding counties. When it has to be done right, call Lake Electric. Let them take care of your family. Lake Electric Company, 4362 Providence Mill Road, Maiden. Call 704-483-4000. Online at lakeelectric.com.
Rhodes & Bill Oil Company in Lincoln has been serving the Piedmont of North and South Carolina since 1919. Sure, they deliver to your home with home heating oils. They'll help keep you warm, but they do a whole lot more. They feature bulk fuel delivery, on-site and commercial fueling, backup generator fueling, and farm and agricultural fueling. For home or business or farms, call on Rhodes & Bill Oil Company in Lincoln, 704-735-2508. Online at rhodesandbill.com, located at 1404 East Main Street in Lincoln. Like them on Facebook, too.
Western Steer Family Steakhouse in Newton has the best food around. Their buffet is like no other. Fried chicken, meatloaf, baked chicken, beef tips with peppers and onions, pintos and macaroni cheese, green beans, yams, and the best salad bar around. Hours of business Sunday, Wednesday, and Thursday, 11 a.m. to 7 p.m. Fridays and Saturdays, 11 a.m. to 8 p.m. Western Steer Family Steakhouse, 334 Southwest Boulevard, Newton. Call for takeouts at 704-325-3926. Like them on Facebook.
Loading the kids in the car, brokering peace in the back seat, mastering the snack handoff without even looking. Why are simple things sometimes so complicated? Thankfully, with auto owners, insurance doesn't have to be one of them. We work with independent agents who keep insurance simple, so you can worry about more important things, like figuring out what's growing in that cup holder. That's simple human sense.
KL Insurance, Lincoln. Call 704-732-4646 or visit KLInsurance.com for all your insurance needs.
Test. Welcome back. All right, here we go into the third quarter. Got some messages here. Give us your lyrics again once more, Mike.
Pulled into Nazareth.
You can give another line.
Okay.
Lots of people answering, though, however.
They are. Okay.
I know the first one to get it was David Keever.
Was feeling about half past dead.
Except I misquoted the title. I was in too big a hurry. But, yes, The Band.
That's right.
The Weight by The Band.
By the Band.
Great song. On a lot of commercials. You know, through the years, that song's been on a lot of commercials and things like that. Lenny says The Weight, The Band. Yeah, that's exactly right. That was a great song, The Wait, he says.
Brett will know this, but Brett, what famous singer-songwriter was the road band for?
Bob Dylan.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you set him up when you said, Brett, you'll know this one.
Yeah, I know.
Let's see.
If you've never seen The Last Waltz, watch that. Mike, I'm sure you've seen
Oh,
it.
yeah, I've seen a great concert film of their last live performance as the band.
And got a lot of Bob Dylan in it.
Oh, yeah. Dylan, everybody.
Ned says he's guessing the title is Take a Load Off Annie. Well, that's close. It's the load. That's what everybody knows it by.
Take a load off.
Yeah.
But the actual title
artist
being
is
The Wait.
The band. It's the easiest band you're ever going to guess, Ned. It's the band.
Yep.
Led by Levon Helm back in the day.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. Rodney says The Wait by the band as well. Got one here. Richard says former player at Cherryville, Jack Teachy, joining Texas Tech football staff as a defensive assistant. Hey, I'll tell you right now.
Well, thank you, Richard. That seems like a story for the Eagle.
Yeah, that says leaving head coaching position at Topsail High School, where he has worked, and he worked at Wofford for 20 years prior. I don't know why, and somebody have to tell me, but if Texas Tech is playing football or basketball on TV, well, I got to watch it.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's there are a lot of programs in the state of Texas. Don't get me wrong, but I don't know why, but I enjoy watching Texas Tech, and of course we know who's the most famous person to ever come out of Texas Tech. Ask you guys that. The most famous athlete to ever come out of Texas Tech. See what
Mahomes.
you guys say. It's got to be right. It's recent.
I'll never forget the game that Mahomes and Tech played against Baker Mayfield and OU. What was the score?
In the 50s, both of them in the 50s.
Both in the 50s. 1,500 yards of offense. It was unbelievable.
Brett, somebody just gave you a compliment, and I mean a major compliment, about your looks. He says, you look just like this. No, he don't say it that way. You resemble this person with your fresh cut.
Fresh cut.
So who does Mike, who does Brett look like with his fresh cut? This guy was a great athlete. You can tell he's a very intelligent person. Mm-hmm. And what's the other thing I was going to say about him? Well, I'll give you a good hint. Do you have a clue, Brett, who he could be talking about? No clue at all?
I don't. He
might have been Dick Vitale's all-time favorite player.
Oh. Chris Mullen, baby.
Where did that come from?
I don't know.
Chris Mullen.
St. John's.
Chris Mullen, baby.
Chris Mullen, baby. You look like Chris Mullen, baby. Chris Mullen. Now, okay, think about Brett's haircut
he had
and Chris Mullen's haircut. Think about that
Chris
first.
Mullen had sort of a buzz cut, didn't he?
Yeah, like
at one time he did. I think, but when he first was with St. John's, didn't he have long hair?
I don't think so.
Okay. Well, that's not it.
That's not it.
That's not it.
Okay. Dick Vitale's all-time favorite player.
We'll let some other people guess who that might be. Who is he comparing Brett to in looks?
Of course, I guess you guys heard the other news about Vitale. He's coming back.
Yeah, he's calling the game.
Is he? Good.
Wake and
next
Dew.
week.
Wake and Dew.
Yeah.
Where's that? Is it?
Wake.
Is it at Wake? Okay. So you don't have to climb up in the rafters. That's what I was wondering.
Going to the bird's nest.
If he was going to have to climb up in the rafters. I can't believe you two guys, of all people, don't know who
Dick
Vitale, who I think was probably Vitale's favorite player.
Shane Battier.
There you go.
Shane Battier.
There you go.
Yeah.
He says that he looks like Battier.
Just like Chris Mullen, except different.
Yeah.
Similar, but different.
He definitely got the Battier haircut.
Yeah.
Let's see. Mike and Ned say Jason with question marks. White guy wore number 55. Well, no, that's already wrong. Black guy wore number 31.
Oh, Jason Williams,
Jason Williams.
white chocolate.
Okay. Yeah.
There were a bunch of Jason Williams at
There
one
were.
time.
There
so-
were. Yeah. That's a very, very common name, and especially a very common name for athletes. It seems like.
One changed to Jay.
Yep.
Yeah.
Jay Williams.
Yep. And we know what he's doing today. He's still on TV. So yeah. How many times did you ever hear Vitale say, "Mr. Battier"? You know.
No.
I mean,
Yeah.
maybe 1,000 in his 4-year. That's back when they played 4 years. You remember that?
Yeah.
Can you go back that far? When now they don't play 4, some play 7 or 8. Let's see. He says facial expressions and all. Says Monty about the look of Battier. What does Battier do now? Because I have no clue.
Is he with an NBA team in some?
Management capacity or
Yeah.
something.
I don't know.
Does he have any kids coming along like Boozer did? we need second generation.
I always thought he'd be a great candidate for a political candidate for
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
It would
I
be.
wouldn't go as far as
Well
say president,
spoken.
but maybe if he did his stepping stones, you know, and got that far, whatever. But
Yeah, very articulate.
Yep. Because the last thing I ever want to do on a show is talk about that kind of thing. But
Yeah, I don't know. It says in 2017 he rejoined the Heat in their front office as the director of basketball development and analytics.
so living on South Beach.
In 2021, it was reported that Battier would be leaving his full-time position but would remain a consultant for the Heat. And I mean, he worked for ESPN for a while too, but I don't think he does that anymore. I don't know what he does.
He did used to be on ESPN. I remember that. Barely.
Maybe.
That's been a while, right?
Maybe he's just retired.
From what? Which one did he retire from? What did he retire from?
Well, I'm sure he managed his
Oh, yeah.
income well
Yeah.
with all those jobs,
Whatever it
the
was,
NBA and the other
I'm going to
things.
bet he's still got some income of some kind. I don't know what he
Probably
might be doing,
so.
but I'm going to bet he's still got. He's still doing something to.
Yeah, because Battier's what, early 40s? I mean,
Good question.
Don Revel says Battier has a son that plays for Providence Day.
Really?
oh.
So
Well, come
maybe
on up
Battier,
to Durham.
maybe Battier lives in Charlotte then.
Yep.
I had not heard that before. Had not heard that before at all. Oh, me! I'll tell you what. Since we'll save the NFL and our picks for last. I want everybody to know this. Okay. Before we move on, Brett, because I'm afraid I'll forget this again. Mike, do you remember who your Super Bowl picks were at the beginning of the year? I got them written down somewhere, but I did not bring them.
I remember Mike's because they were the same as mine.
Okay.
Exact same.
That would have been the Chiefs and
Lions.
Lions.
Yeah.
And do you remember mine?
I don't.
Yours were Rams and was it Ravens?
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
So we're both
You're
all three still alive.
Still alive.
All three still alive.
And I think Mike picked the Lions to win, and I picked the Chiefs to win.
I picked
That
the
was
Ravens
our
to
only
win.
difference.
I hope I'm right.
I picked the Ravens to win, but over the Rams. And when the Rams were 1-4, I almost threw those out the window, threw those pick sheets out the window. But here they are. Here they are.
Well, I think they got a chance to beat the Eagles.
I think that I don't know if I should say it. I think the NFC is so open.
Yep.
You know, I mean, the Lions are the best team when they got
They've
everybody
been-
in their health,
when they're healthy.
and they're going to get to
Defense.
play every game at home, and the Lions should win it.
Mm-hmm.
The Lions should win it. And if I had to pick right now, that's who it would be. I would pick the Lions, but you know that was at the beginning of the year. A lot of times they went through a lot of injuries, but maintained win. They just kept winning.
Yep.
With all those injuries. They just kept winning. You know, I mean that's a testament to Dan Campbell, who I think is he is just he is what you want in a football coach. Everything.
Yep, everything.
Everything about him
Yeah.
is what you want in a football coach.
Yep.
And the players love playing for him. I mean, that's, you know. Let's see. It's trying to look at some, we'll save the football for last. Newton Conover, a couple basketball scores from last night in the area. Newton Conover, these are boys, defeated Bunker Hill last night, 68-38 in that game. Chase and Patton last night, no score reported. Maiden defeated Lincoln last night 86-76. That game was for first place in the CVAC, so now Maiden on top in the CVAC all by themselves in that one. Let's see, Charlotte Christian and Providence Day. Providence Day won 68-28.
So, yeah, Battier's son plays on that Providence Day team, and Donner Evans just sent me a little shot of his info. He's a sophomore right now.
Okay.
I think I saw that he's 6'6". It looks like he's a pretty good player.
Okay.
We'll be seeing him somewhere in college one day.
Royal Blue, is that what you're trying to say?
Yeah, I mean, I hope he's on that level.
On that level,
I don't know.
Yep. You don't have anything there that tells where Battier is. I mean, the parents and the kids not always together. I just wonder if Battier lives in Charlotte as well. If it had anything on his updated profile. West Lincoln defeated East Burke. West Lincoln defeated West Caldwell.
You blew them out
last week and out tonight.
Well, let me ask
last
you.
Last night they beat East Burke by 22.
One of their guards missed some time. Is he back? I mean, they've looked pretty good lately.
I don't know the answer.
The Callister,
but I think so.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm with you.
Yeah,
on
we
that.
need somebody from West Lincoln to answer that.
The way that it's turned, and all of a sudden, that would indicate to me that maybe starting to get healthy, getting some of their players back, and at a really good time as well, because the second round of the conference play for most conferences will happen this coming week. So
turns around.
Yeah, that's a couple pretty good wins for West Lincoln, who were actually struggling a little bit there for a while. So let's see, West Lincoln again 69-47 last night over East Burke in that one. West Caldwell did make a statement last night, however, that they're not finished. West Caldwell over Bandy's last night. Have you seen that one, Brad?
Yeah, I did.
68-61.
What's happened to Bandy's?
West
I
Caldwell
figured they
with
would be
with the road
right
win
there with Lincoln and
Maiden.
Maiden.
They are, but they're losing close games.
Right
now, Maiden beat them pretty good
a
few nights back, but they're just this is just it's a really good basketball conference.
It is.
I think it's got 4 teams that are above average. Wouldn't you say, Brett? There's 4 teams in the league that are above average.
To me, it's a couple things stand out. I think Maiden is the best team, and Lincoln has the best player.
Right.
And then there's a couple other teams that can compete with those if they play their best.
Yeah.
And then, I mean, there's some teams I haven't seen. I hadn't seen Newton or Bunker Hill or West Lincoln.
You'll get to see West if you.
And I think West, when they have everybody, they might be the third or fourth best team.
Yeah, they have everybody.
According to Lenny, McAllister Anderson is back playing for West Lincoln.
That's who I was thinking about.
Yeah,
tall guard, shoots it pretty good. He's like 6'3", something like that. Yeah.
That's a good win for West Lincoln, 69-47 over East Burke. But the bigger one, like we said, came earlier whenever they knocked off West Caldwell.
And it was by like 20, wasn't it?
It was.
Well, they got another kid
20.
who was on the football team. I think he came up from East Gaston. Jay Sorrow, I think it is. He's pretty good.
Yeah, he's a point guard.
Yeah, he's pretty good from what I hear.
Hickory over Fred T. Ford last night in boys basketball, 83-49. Corvian, we mentioned Corvian because I think they're in the conference with Lincoln Charter. Corvian beats Pine Lake Prep 51-48 last night. AC Reynolds over TC Roberson 69-48. Stuart Kramer and Hunter Huss, no score reported. A lot of these with no scores reported here on this Saturday morning. Burns rolls over East Gaston 89-58.
I've seen Burns. They're pretty good.
Yeah. Salisbury 73-65 over North Rowan. East Lincoln, I think this is 8, 9, maybe 10 wins in a row. 78-35 over North Iredell last night. If you want to go to a zoo and see a madhouse,
Tuesday,
go to East Lincoln Tuesday night.
It's going to be unreal.
That game will be for first place, and East Lincoln's on a roll right now. The first one is at East, right, Brett?
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay, it is at East Lincoln.
At East on Tuesday.
Yep. This is the team that lost 3 games kind of early in the season, but boy, they seem like they've got it really rolling right now. East Lincoln, it'll be
Yeah, you're right. 9 in a row.
9 in a row. Yeah.
You got the emergence this year. Of course, they had the big kid on the wing who shoots it, but what's his name? Jackson Dollar?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
And Jackson
Fannin.
is the other one.
Fannin,
Two
too, yeah.
Jacksons.
Every time I look at the box score, Fannon's in the 30s, it seems like. Scoring in the 30s for East Lincoln. North Mac beats West Charlotte by 40. It's 83-43. And I think West Charlotte lost like that earlier in the week as well.
Yeah, that's
a down.
not a surprise.
Okay.
North Mac's really good, and West Charlotte's just not right now.
Charlotte Catholic loses to Marvin Ridge. Marvin Ridge 64-57 in that contest. Let's see, Forest View and Kings Mountain. Kings Mountain wins 65-61. St. Stephen's falls to Statesville. Statesville 75-51. Independence loses to Butler. I tell you, I will say this: these teams in Charlotte, they play some defense. This 2 powerhouses here is 56-44. Not giving up a lot of points by either one of those.
Yeah, that's a rivalry game too.
From those squads, a lot of scores here that are.
But on the other end
blank.
of the, how about North Lincoln West Ardell?
Yep, 96-61.
96 points.
Yep, 96. I'm telling you, man, I've seen more points scored this year by high school teams, I think, than in a long time. I mean, it's just they're up around 100. A lot of teams are a lot of different games. Fast-paced basketball. Let's see, Mount Pleasant, North Stanley. Mount Pleasant wins 66-57. Oak Grove, that might be a team that some of our area teams see in the playoffs. They beat Montgomery Central 85-40. I'm trying to find the one everybody always wants to know about. What did Reedsville do? That kind of thing. Lincoln Charter rolled over Christ the King 67-41. Lake Norman over South Iredale 76-36. In Lake Norman, they're ranked 4th in the entire state.
Yeah, they're
they
really
have like
good.
2 or 3 Division I prospects.
Yeah, they even shut down North Lincoln.
Girls and boys.
Yeah,
both really good.
North Buncombe 71-66 over Asheville. Burlington Williams 68-67 over Cedar Ridge. Let's see. Crest and South Point played last night, but no score was reported on Max Preps. Northwest Cabarrus beat Central Cabarrus. That's a whole different Central Cabarrus now.
Yeah, it is.
57-52. Did they win back-to-back? Did you tell me that last night?
Back-to-back undefeated seasons.
Back-to-back undefeated seasons, but not
And,
now.
of course, they conquered Hickory last year in the regional final, right? On their way to the state championship.
I like how you stuck Concord in there. He didn't get it.
8-8 this year, which they lost to everybody and their coach.
Wow.
Just a whole new team.
Yeah.
Andrews over Highlands. That's a big 1A game always. 79-44 last night. Let's see. What else we got here? Huff and Hopewell. Hopewell wins 53-40. There again, defense being the key in those games. I don't know if the defense was the key here or not, but Concord beats East Rowan 62-28. Bessemer City falls to Highland Tech. Highland Tech 68-58. Where's Highland Tech at?
That surprises me.
Does it?
Yeah. Highland Tech had only won 1 conference game.
Okay.
And that was against Cherryville. So.
All right.
Central Cabarrus was 96-1 over the last 3 years.
96-1. Yep. Yeah, it makes you wonder if that's the best run in North Carolina history.
Incredible run.
You could only beat it by 1 game.
And 12-2 in the previous year, the COVID year. So those twins that were seniors last year, that's 108-3 was their record. Their 4-year record.
Okay, do you know their names? Just the last name. I don't.
Daniel.
Their last name is Daniel.
Chase Daniel and Carson Daniel.
Chase Daniel.
NFL.
Yeah, quarterback.
Backup quarterback.
Right. Chase Daniel.
Okay, how would you compare those with the Martins out of Davie County?
Well, these guys are like
smaller.
5'11" or 6
I'm gonna go ahead and
foot,
say,
so they're not going to have an NBA career.
Both Martins played major college basketball.
But as far as in
at
high
least
school,
one of
they
them's
were
in the NBA. Are they both in the NBA?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And one's
these
a
guys
starter
aren't going to the NBA.
with
They're
Miami.
too small.
One starts with Miami. Caleb.
Sure.
I'm guessing. You're supposed to correct me. Yeah.
I don't know. I haven't watched Miami play.
Jimmy Butler has.
But these guys, I mean, they had as good of a high school career as anybody.
Have they? They'd
Ever.
have to. Yeah.
I mean,
yeah, they'd have to. Yeah.
108 wins and 3 losses, and 1 back-to-back state championships.
Yeah, that's pretty good. And you say they are gone.
I think they're at Catawba College.
Okay. Good basketball program.
Yeah. Like I said, they're guards, and they're only 5'11" or 6 foot. I mean, they're not big, but they just do everything right.
I like Cherryville. It's not that big. Let's see. We got South Brunswick here and New Hanover. New Hanover 81-34 last night. New Hanover's a team we saw last year in the
Yeah, they got beaten in the state championship by North Meck.
in the 4A by
And they were undefeated going into that game.
Well, they must be pretty good this year.
They are. They
19th
were.
overall.
They didn't have many seniors last year.
Okay. No score on Drone and Mountain Heritage. Let's see. Garner, Allegheny, and Starmount. Allegheny wins that one 62-53. North Surrey hammers Surrey Central 83-59 last night. East Rutherford over Polk County 60-39. How's East Rutherford's team, Brett? Do you know? Have you kept up with them at all? I know they had a really good football
I don't know
year.
much about them.
Not real good, I don't think.
Okay. Let's see. West Henderson 54-40 over Tuscola. Smoky Mountain falls to East Henderson 59-45. Red Bank, wonder where that is. Red Bank and Carolina Day. Red Bank a winner in that one. Jacksonville 67-65 over South Central. That's not Los Angeles. Brett, no score on Wilkes Central and East Wilkes. Hendersonville beats Brevard 61-46. Alexander Central falls to South Caldwell. South Caldwell 61-53. And High Brighton falls to Watauga. Watauga 84-58. West Forsyth 53-38 over Mount Tabor. Mount Tabor being the ranked team loses last night by 15 on the road at West Forsyth. Ashe County and Freedom 85-55, a 30-point winner in that particular game. All right, it's time for us to take our final time out, and we have Brett's lyrics. You said both mine and Mike's were from 1968. And now you didn't change yours,
not.
did you? Okay,
No.
good.
He said this was in the 70s.
All right, what you got?
Once I thought I saw you in a crowded, hazy bar.
We'll be back with the answer to that in a moment.
Loading the kids in the car, brokering peace in the back seat, mastering the snack handoff without even looking. Why are simple things sometimes so complicated? Thankfully, with auto owners, insurance doesn't have to be one of them. We work with independent agents who keep insurance simple, so you can worry about more important things, like figuring out what's growing in that cup holder. That's simple human sense.
KL Insurance, Lincoln. Call 704-732-4646 or visit KLinsurance.com for all your insurance needs. First Federal Savings Bank has been serving Lincoln County since 1940. And as it has been from the beginning, customer service is a priority to First Federal Savings Bank. They want to get to know you by name. First Federal Savings Bank has the convenience, the products, and the services that the larger banks have, but with hometown people that you see throughout your community. Stop in and visit one of their 4 convenient locations and see what First Federal Savings Bank has to offer you. Member FDIC, an equal housing lender.
Whether it's a sit-down meal or a call-in for the drive-thru, Brookwood Cafe and Catering is the answer. A variety of meats, vegetables, and desserts cooked daily, or a hot sandwich from the grill, they have what you're looking for to satisfy your taste buds. If you need catering from 5 to 500, Brookwood has you covered as well. Stop by Brookwood Cafe and Catering at 202 Providence Mill Road in Maiden. Don't forget breakfast daily till 11 a.m. Open Tuesday 6 a.m. to 2 p.m., Wednesday through Saturday 6 a.m. till 8 p.m., and Sunday from 7 a.m. to 3 p.m. Call 828-428-8944 to place your order today.
Getting the kids to practice on time. Remembering if it's your day to bring snacks. Making it to the game with a clean jersey. Why are simple things sometimes so complicated? Thankfully, with auto owners, insurance doesn't have to be one of them. Auto Owners works with independent agents who answer when you call, so you can worry about more important things, like whether your kid is going to run toward first or third base. That's simple human sense.
Call Mooney Insurance in Maiden or East Lincoln Insurance in Denver or visit MooneyInsurance.com.
Lake Electric Company was founded in 1984. They are licensed in North Carolina, South Carolina, Georgia, and Virginia. Safety and quality is first in everything they do. For all your electrical needs, serving Lincoln County, Catawba County, Burke County, Mecklenburg County, and all the surrounding counties. When it has to be done right, call Lake Electric. Let them take care of your family. Lake Electric Company, 4362 Providence Mill Road, Maiden. Call 704-483-4000. Online at lakeelectric.com.
Rhodes and Bill Oil Company in Lincoln has been serving the Piedmont of North and South Carolina since 1919. Sure, they deliver to your home with home heating oils. They'll help keep you warm, but they do a whole lot more. They feature bulk fuel delivery, on-site and commercial fueling, backup generator fueling, and farm and agricultural fueling. For home or business or farms, call on Rhodes and Bill Oil Company in Lincoln, 704-735-2508. Online at rhodesandbill.com, located at 1404 East Main Street in Lincoln. Like them on Facebook too.
Western Steer Family Steakhouse in Newton has the best food around. Their buffet is like no other. Fried chicken, meatloaf, baked chicken, beef tips with peppers and onions, pintos and macaroni cheese, green beans, yams, and the best salad bar around. Hours of business Sunday, Wednesday, and Thursday, 11 a.m. to 7 p.m. Fridays and Saturdays, 11 a.m. to 8 p.m. Western Steer Family Steakhouse, 334 Southwest Boulevard, Newton. Call for takeouts at 704-325-3926. Like them on Facebook.
Loading the kids in the car, brokering peace in the back seat, mastering the snack handoff without even looking. Why are simple things sometimes so complicated? Thankfully, with auto owners, insurance doesn't have to be one of them. We work with independent agents who keep insurance simple, so you can worry about more important things, like figuring out what's growing in that cup holder. That's simple human sense.
KL Insurance, Lincoln. Call 704-732-4646 or visit KLInsurance.com for all your insurance needs.
Welcome back. David, Mike, Brett, we're with you. Final 30 minutes, a little less than 30 now. The fourth quarter, as we should say. I just looking here, the headlines. Who am I describing? And if you guys have seen it, don't say it, but just who am I describing here? Vicious, devastating, nasty. 3 words on my screen. Who do you think that is? Describing here this morning. Brett's going to love it because it's the 23-year-old rookie sensation. Maybe sensation. It's the Dodgers have signed Roki, if that's pronounced right, Sasaki. I feel more confident in Sasaki than I do Roki. Another pitcher for another player for the Dodgers coming from Japan, 23 years old, and it says that, like I just told you, vicious, devastating, and nasty are the words that how he is described on here, as he will come in and pitch for. If you look at him in the picture and don't know, you're going to think he's in a Japan uniform, and you would think this guy's about 14 or something like that. But it says he's 23, and
Wow.
Dodgers eating up that West Coast talent, right? Off the coast.
Yeah.
A little bit. We're going to go with Brett's lyrics because I absolutely cannot name those lyrics. Brett, what you got? Read them again.
Once I thought I saw you in a crowded, hazy bar, dancing on the light from star to star. I'll give you more. Far across the moonbeam, I know that's who you are. I saw your brown eyes turning once to fire. And then the next line has the title in it.
You going to tell us the year?
I said it came out in 77.
77.
But the guy was around. The guy was around the pretty good while before that.
Okay, so it's a solo artist, right?
Yep.
One message I've got here. I'm gonna go ahead and read this one real quick. This talking about West Lincoln and how they've turned things around and you know got the kid back, McAllister Anderson.
Right.
Says have a good point guard, Jace Rao.
Right.
When healthy, they have a solid team, but sure could have used the athleticism of Gideon Allen, who did not play basketball.
Yeah,
this season.
I talked to his father, of course, Superintendent Aaron Allen, at the school board meeting not too long ago, and asked him about it. Said he just he's going to lift some weights, do something different. Seemed like he's going to try to play tennis or something. I mean, just taking a break. Yeah, he could. He definitely could have helped them. They would have been stronger with him.
I get this message. Can someone explain how the Dodgers are deferring all this money and what happens at the end of those contracts? No, I can't. I can't. I can't. That comes from Monty. He's wanting his Yankees to do that. I guess I want my Red Sox to do it. Whatever it takes to get more talent in there on the team, I will gladly be for. And I can promise you this too. None of these organizations that are doing this, nobody is going to lose money. You know, they're not doing this with losses in mind. They're not going to lose money. So, but I don't know. I don't know how that works at all. I've you know, it's kind of, you know, you can keep up with the salary cap in NFL and it'd drive you crazy, and you can look at all these different things, you know. But I've just started trying just to rule it out, and whoever's on the teams, that's who's on the teams.
Yeah.
As much as I hate it, because you know how much I hate baseball. With you know the.
And I'm the same way with the college, the NIL thing.
The bottom 40% in baseball, or the bottom 60% in baseball, will never win a World Series.
No.
And it's just awful when you go into the season and that many teams have no chance. But you know, it is what it is. I can't do anything about it. So
Yeah. Before we leave high school, any idea when the state association may come out with the next draft of the realignment? I know they came out with the so-called first draft, and just wonder.
I got you. Soon.
All right.
How's
and
that?
do you think, and I understand you don't think there are going to be any significant changes, correct?
Okay, at this point, I've got a yes and a no, because some of the things I heard this week does sound like there could be some changes coming. So
I'm concerned
it's just
about
up in the air. It's just up in the air, and you're concerned about Cherryville.
Yeah, because
some of the
got
people I talked with
16,
last night.
schools.
Yeah, I think that's going to change. I think that's
just
going
not
to change.
enough. You
Right.
got to find 5 non-conference
Yep.
football games.
Yep.
That's
You can't
very
do it.
difficult.
Yeah, I think that's going to change. I don't want to. I don't want to say. I don't want to be the one to say you might see some Lincoln County teams in there with them and then it not happen. But you know, I think it might be a possibility. We'll just say that. So we shall see.
And my other
shall
big question
see.
is: will Lincoln Charter indeed play varsity football in 25? Seems
As far as I know,
it will.
yes. But then again, on the same conversation, it was mentioned that still not 100% decided yet.
Right.
Still not 100% decided.
Yeah, there's a lot of some questions there that kind of intrigue you.
Lenny says the Boston Brass, they won't defer contracts unless it's to themselves. I guess he's talking about the brass. But then again, they're not going to defer it to their show. They're going to collect right now because they might be out of a job. So they're going to they want to collect as quick as possible, I would think. Butch says they met Wednesday and heard 170 appeals.
Wow.
So that helps you a little.
That does help.
You know what? With all the schools there are in the state of North Carolina, I think 170 is a low number. 170 appeals might be a low number.
What do we have?
I mean, I'm not saying that is not the number. That is the number, but low in comparison. But now each school was only allowed to submit one. You couldn't submit two different things. I mean, you could only submit one. So, and I would guess this too. I'm gonna guess that if one school in a conference maybe suggested a change on something or appealed something, maybe the others didn't because they think, well, he's looking out for us, whether they are or not. But you never know. But but 170. I just wonder how long it would take to sit there and change and get closer to what the schools wanted.
Yep.
How much time would that take? Because guess what? Usually the schedules for the upcoming high school football season, the high school volleyball season, all those fall sports, those schedules are usually coming out about now.
Yeah.
Can't do it.
Nope.
Can't do it. Nobody knows what they're going to be in. So it's a tricky situation, and especially it's not like it's different than it's ever been before because there's going to be 8 classifications.
No doubt.
And that is shaking it up quite a bit as well. So,
does anybody know how many charter schools we now have in the state? It's got to be up around 140 or 150.
But the first number came into my mind. That's so funny. 140 was the first number, but it's probably higher than that.
Yeah.
It's probably higher than that
Yeah,
at this point. Yeah. That was also something I heard that the charters might be in their own. I don't know if it meant in their own conferences and then play regular playoffs, or if it meant they would have their own champion. I don't know the answer to that, and that's only time will tell on that. That's if that happens, that's a whole lot more work. I mean, we're not going to have 8 classes. You're going to have, think about that. You're going to have at least 2 more classes just in charter schools, right? I mean, they can't all be in one.
No.
So, I don't know.
Because of different student populations.
All I do is sit back and wait and see what they send out and go with it. Let's see. I plan on being in front of the tube today when the 15-2 Chiefs host the 10-7 Texans. Who was the Texans win against last year, Brett, when they surprised the football world? Did they win 2 games or was it just one?
That's just been one. Was it Cleveland that they beat?
Oh, surely not. I thought it was more of a monumental win than that. No offense, Cleveland. But, it was like you got this new quarterback come in, and he made some waves during the regular season, but then he really looked sharp in the playoff game. And but then I thought they had kind of a disappointing start to the season this year. They did make the playoffs, in a division where somebody had to make it because it's not a very good division. But somebody's got to win it. They did win it. It's like Tampa Bay. They won a division that wasn't very good. But, somebody's got to win it, and they've done it 4 years in a row. Tampa has.
Yeah.
But the Texans making a little noise
They beat
there.
the Browns in Cleveland.
Okay. And the Browns were a good team last year.
It was in Houston.
Okay.
45-14 last year.
And then what happened in the second round?
They lost to the Ravens 34-10.
It was that bad. What chances do you give the Texans today, Mike and Brett, in the traveling to Kansas City?
I think they got a chance because I think the Chiefs just play close games.
Close games, that's right. I think it could be a less than 6-8 point game. It could be close.
I'd probably give them maybe a 30-35% chance to win.
I'm gonna say I'm gonna say Chiefs by 17 today. in that.
A blowout,
Yeah.
basically.
Yeah, I think they win with relative ease. That's just me. I mean, that's just my thought on the game, my gut feeling on what's going to happen there. Because let me tell you one reason I think that is I like to sit down and watch good competitive games that come down to the fourth quarter. I just think this might not be one.
Very possible.
Lions,
Yeah, it's like you get those all year, and
Yeah.
when there's a bunch on at one time,
Yeah.
and then you have standalone
Exactly.
games, and they're
Yeah.
not close.
Yeah, plenty of time to go to the refrigerator.
Well, we just hope for good games because of the first 6, we've only had one that really
Yeah.
came down
Yeah.
to the last few minutes.
What's the spread in that one? Did you say
The 8.5.
8.5? Yeah. What's the spread in the Commanders and Lions?
Let me get back.
You seen that one?
That one's 8.5.
Okay.
Chiefs by 9.
Chiefs by 9, so basically the same spread in both of those games.
A lot more points expected in the Washington-Detroit game.
I'll let you go first, Brett. What do you think is going to happen there?
I don't think I don't know if Washington can do anything with Detroit's offense. They just got so many weapons, and
Slowing Detroit down is going to be the problem for.
yeah,
Okay,
I think
yeah,
so.
I say that too. I think the same thing, Mike.
Which I thought they were going to have a lot more trouble slowing Tampa down. I mean, they couldn't really defend Mike Evans, but I guess they just slowed him down enough. But
Well, I still think Jaden Daniels has a chance to have a good game because we know that Detroit is hobbling. They have injuries on defense, and Daniels just has a way of making plays. This guy's magic. I mean, I still think Detroit will win the game, but I think he could make it interesting.
Okay, I'll say it. Detroit by 20.
Okay.
This is going to be a madhouse because of last year. They thought they could have got there to the Super Bowl. They are primed and ready. They're getting people back healthy, which is a key for Detroit. Not going to have Aiden,
No.
but they are. I mean, they're getting healthy, and I think it'll be 20, but I think it'll be like 45-25. I think Washington will score some points.
Okay.
But I just think Detroit is going to be Washington's defense is their weakness, Brad. I mean,
Yeah.
Let's face it. It's just going to be hard to stop Detroit. Now, obviously, I hope it's a better game than that because that's 2 for 2 that, you might not have a lot of want to see it. You know what I mean? On the
yeah, Washington gives up
the fourth quarter.
They're 30th in against the run.
30th against the run.
Ooh.
Yeah.
And Detroit
They can run the
runs
ball.
it pretty well,
They can run
and
the
they're
ball.
balanced. Yeah, Detroit second overall in yards per game, 6th in rushing yards per game. So yeah, it just to me it comes down to
Yeah,
how
analytics
how
tell
can
you.
Washington's defense what they can do. I mean, can you bend but don't break and hold Detroit to field goals to keep it close? Or
Well, everybody's talking about Game 4 of this weekend being the best game, but I think the closest game when the scores are all said and done is going to be the Rams and the Eagles.
Yeah, I would not be surprised.
I mean,
Rams are playing with they've got
Here's-
something extra going for them.
here's
Plus, Sean McVay's one of the best offensive minds
yeah, he
in
is.
the game.
The one thing that worries me about this game being close, though, is it's supposed to be snowing the entire game, from what I hear, in Philadelphia.
Not good for the Rams.
No. And while both teams do have good running games, the Eagles do have Saquon Barkley,
Yeah.
who's been the best this year.
There's no good.
So, and that could be the difference, So, I just think that one's going to be a good game. You can watch where my predictions have gone lately. It might be totally off. Might be the exact opposite on all these.
I think it'll be a 7 to 10 point game.
Do you?
I do.
Yeah. I think that one will be within a touchdown. Since I picked the Rams to go to the Super Bowl, I'm gonna pick the Rams to win that game.
Absolutely.
And since I picked the Ravens to go to the Super Bowl and win it, I have to pick them in Buffalo tomorrow. Although, to me, are there any better fans in any sport than the Buffalo Bills? Maybe some equal.
Maybe
but are there any better?
The Packers have great
Yeah.
fans, but
Yeah.
I
But
mean,
the Packers get to sit there and have success year after
Yeah,
year
that's
most
true.
of the time, and
Yeah.
it's easier. Buffalo's filling it up, whether they're 1-16 or
that's true.
They're
They're kind of like Nebraska's fans in football.
There's a lot of places like that.
Yeah, they're going to fill it up. They're going to be there.
But
yeah. It could. I would. Yeah.
I do hope. I do think this will be a classic game, though, and probably I think it'll come down to the fourth quarter. I don't know if it'll come down to the final drive or not, but I do think it'll come down to the fourth quarter. I'm gonna pick the Ravens, but the Ravens in the playoffs, man, they've laid some eggs.
Mm-hmm.
They've come out and played flat sometimes, just like I think maybe just last year, right?
But they have Henry this year, and that might be the X factor.
Yep. That is is that the biggest pickup in the offseason by any team?
I think so.
For the Ravens to
got that one and Saquon.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Those two.
Yeah, and look where they're at. They could they could be going against each other in a few weeks, wherever the Super Bowl is. I don't even know where it's at this year. Let me guess: Tampa, Miami, New Orleans. I don't remember.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
Super Bowl.
Yeah.
It's in New Orleans, Superdome.
Is it?
Yes.
Yeah, that's right. I think I remember now them talking about it.
I mean, that's going to be kind of eerie given what happened on New Year's Eve.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
you can bet this will be the most secure,
Yes, I would think so.
security-conscious Super Bowl ever.
Yeah.
Right there.
Yeah, I would have to agree with that. You guys, Rams, Eagles.
The Eagles.
I'm going to Eagles in a close game.
Yep. Home team does mean something, and Philly's got great fans too. I will say that. They got great fans that love to voice their opinion. But we've all been Chiefs. We've all been Lions. I broke there. I went Rams, and you guys went Eagles, and then that leaves the big one at the end of the day, end of Sunday night, Ravens and Bills.
I got to go Josh Allen at home in the snow, whatever the weather is.
It's funny. A lot of people think the winner of this game is going to win it all.
Yeah.
Yet there are 9 losses combined.
Yeah.
I know that don't always mean anything because it's all about how you're playing now.
Exactly.
But
just ask the 9-7 Giants who won it all by beating one of the great teams of all time.
Won 3 road games in the playoffs. And beat the Patriots at the end. So yes, it can be done. Okay, if there's a dark horse in the teams that's left, who would you?
Rams. I'm going
Do you?
Rams. Yeah.
Do you?
I do.
Brett?
Sean McVay.
Well, I mean, the choices for dark horse would
They
have to
slimmed
be
down.
Rams, Texans, or Commanders. Would be
Because
the three,
you couldn't
would be the
you
three
can't
choices,
include either
right?
team in that other
No.
game. That's true.
So,
Yeah.
Now I'll go Commanders for the dark horse.
There you
How
go.
about
There
that?
you go.
I'll take the Ravens to beat Buffalo. I think the quarterbacks are pretty even. I think Baltimore
Yeah,
has a better
I took the
roster
Ravens, too.
around the
Mhm.
quarterback.
I think
But it is at Buffalo, so that
I think the
evens
difference
it out a little
is
bit.
Derrick Henry, though.
But yeah, that is the most
You got to pound on him all day long, or he's going to pound on you, whichever way you want to look at it. all day
anticipated
long.
game, and the last game of the weekend.
Yeah, and the last game of the weekend. Yes, and I don't know. I haven't seen the weather in Buffalo, but I can guess.
Yeah, I think we can make
Yeah.
a good guess.
I'm going to guess it's going to be pretty
Cold.
cold. Yeah, it's going to be pretty cold.
I hope there's not precipitation. I know that kind
I
of
think it's going to be in Philly, from what I heard.
that could make the game ugly, and I'd like to see both offenses be able to do what they do.
No, I don't want to see a driving snow. I mean, that does affect offensive play, as Brett says. But
Tomorrow
a few
says,
flurries would be all right.
It says high of 21
Oh.
and a few flurries possible.
That's all
Okay.
in Philly.
No, that's Buffalo.
Okay.
I'll take that.
Yep. Check Phillies while I'm going to give the networks here right quick. 4:30 tomorrow. 4:30 today. ESPN has the Texans and the Chiefs. 8:00 tonight. It's Fox that has the Commanders and the Lions. Then tomorrow afternoon, 3:00, which I like that they do that. Make them a little later on Sunday. The Rams and the Eagles, 3:00 on NBC and Peacock. And then the nightcap, the big one, actually, on paper, definitely the best matchup of the weekend, the Ravens and the Bills on CBS.
So that'll be
Philly says
Jim and Tony.
Jim and Tony.
Philly says 35 degrees is the high, 100% chance of snow.
Just 100?
3
Just
to 5
100.
inches expected.
Ooh.
10 to 15 mile an hour wind.
Every now and then, but rarely do you see games in Philly in the snow.
Yeah.
No, that's
Yeah.
every now and then you do. Where did they play that year? Was that a game between Philly at Buffalo when I can still see the running back, Shady McCoy running in the snow? It was a really good game to watch. And it was the snow was really deep on the field. They couldn't keep it off. It got very deep on the football field. That's probably been 10 years now or so since that happened, though.
Yeah, that's more. I want to see that in the regular season, but I don't want to see it ruin a playoff game.
I know. And sometimes, it keeps the best team from winning. It can keep the best team from winning. All right, Brett, give those lyrics again. We got about 3 minutes left. We got to get those.
Once I thought I saw you in a crowded, hazy bar, dancing on the light from star to star.
Go again.
Far across the moonbeam, I know that's who you are. I saw your brown eyes turning once to fire. You are
A shooting star.
like a hurricane.
Neil
Young.
Neil Young. Wow. Good one.
Yep. I was struggling with that.
Like a hurricane. Yeah.
I don't feel as bad. I should have got it. I don't feel as bad, though. I was afraid it was going to be, one of the artists that I know a lot of lyrics on, and in 77 made me really feel that way. But you said 1977.
Yeah.
When that came out. So
Don Revels says Jordan Faison, Notre Dame receiver, has a chance to win his second national championship this year, as they won it in. He's a lacrosse player, won a national title in lacrosse in the fall. There are two other athletes who have done it. Won national championships, two national championships in the same
year. I wish
year.
we'd have had this earlier.
Well, you're never going to get one of them.
One
of them was Maryland, a female who did it in field hockey and lacrosse.
Marilyn Manson.
Yeah, Megan Kelly from Maryland in '99, and the other one was
Why is that name familiar? Is that not an actress?
It could be.
Name too. Megan
What'd
Kelly?
you say the name was?
Megan Kelly.
Megan Kelly. Was she a Fox News person? Yeah. Anchor.
Is that what it is?
That's
Okay.
what it is.
The other one was in 1978 at Southern Cal and did it in football and baseball.
Reggie Bush? No, he didn't play.
78.
78. Never mind. 78.
And you know this guy for football.
78.
And he won it in baseball and
Baseball and football in
At
78
Marcus Allen.
at Southern
No.
Cal.
No, Southern Cal. Okay.
Well, Marcus Allen went to.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, he
Nice.
qualifies.
I don't think he played baseball.
78.
78. What position did he play in football?
Offensive line.
Ooh, that makes it
that's
harder.
Tough.
That makes it harder. Southern Cal offensive lineman. And what was the other sport you said?
Baseball.
Wow.
Oh, God.
Offensive lineman and baseball didn't seem to go together.
No, what did he go to play in the NFL?
Yes.
Wound up playing.
Pretty sure he's a Hall of Famer.
What's his initials?
A.M.
A.M.
Yeah.
Yeah, he might have been.
That's a great trivia.
He might have been a first
question.
ballot
Good
Hall of
trivia.
Famer. I don't
Good
know.
trivia.
That is a
question.
great trivia question.
The Bengals is where I remember him most.
I know who it is now. I can see him. Anthony.
Yeah.
M.
Munoz.
Munoz.
Yep, Anthony
Munoz.
Anthony Munoz.
How about that? It came to me when you said that, but
Yeah.
I did not know that he played baseball.
Said he's pitched.
Did not know he played
Oh,
baseball.
God.
Imposing
Figure on the
presence
mound,
on
right?
the mound, yeah. A very imposing presence on the mound from that guy. We thank you for tuning in this morning. For Mike, Brett, I'm David. See you next week.